So good morning all of you. Today we will continue with our discussion on minimum spanning tree. So we have discussed the approach for Kruskal's algorithm. So this is just, let's have a quick recap of what is Kruskal, or what the Kruskal's approach is doing. So you have been given a graph. The first step will be for a given edges. First step is you sort the edges in ascending order of its weight. So this will be the first step. Then you take each edge one by one, check it and check its endpoints. If they are not connected, then that particular edge will be part of a minimum spanning tree. And if they are already connected by some means, then that cannot be the part of, or that edge cannot be the part of minimum spanning tree. So if you see this graph, this is another example which I want to just have a quick run on it. So if this is the graph, so the first step is you sort the edges in minimum order of its weight. So this one is the minimum edge. Now 0 and 1 were initially not connected, so 0 and 1 will be part of minimum spanning tree. Yeah. Okay. Right. The next edge with minimum weight is 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 25, 12, 11, 6, 9 is there, 12, 11, 8 is there. So next is this. Right. Once again, 3 and 5 are not connected initially. Before this step, they are not connected. So now they will be connected. The next is 9. Okay. 1 and 4 are not connected, so they will be connected. Next is another 9. Okay. Once again, they will connected. Then next is, I think it's 11. Okay. Before this step, 5 and 7 were not connected. So 11 will be part of minimum spanning tree. There is one more 11. Okay. Before this step, 8 and 6 were not connected. So again, next is same. Next is one more 12, I think, this one. But 6 and 3 were already connected, right? So this will not be the part of minimum spanning tree. Again, one more 12 is there, but again, this is already connected, so will not be part of spanning tree. Next is 13. 2 and 1 are already connected, so skip. Next is 14. Before this step, 2 and 3 are not connected, right? So if you see this is one tree, this is another tree, and these two trees are not connected. So you can simply have this in minimum spanning tree. Then next is I think 16. Again same, so skip, 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 skip. Right. So this is your MST for a given graph. So here the point is, the approach is simple. First step, short, and then take the edges in ascending order of its weight, then check endpoints. When you are writing an algorithm, you must answer two things, right? So for that, Kruskal is using a set theory, set approach to maintain whether two vertices are connected or not. So if you see this algorithm, there are two parameters, G and W. G represents graph, W represents the weight of each edge. Initially, your spanning tree is empty. So this is my solution. A is equal to null. Then for each vertex, B belongs to V of G. That means for every vertex of graph, you use this function set. Max set means you initialize each vertex to a different set, right? So each vertex represents a one set. Then you sort step number 4. Then you take the each edge one by one. So for each edge UV belongs to E, taken in non-decreasing order by weight, it's okay. If find set U is not equal to find set V. Now find set is another function which will tell you whether from which set U belongs to. Similarly, from which state V belongs to. U and V are two endpoints of E. If they are not same, that means if U and V belongs to the different set, then it means that U and V are not connected, and it means that UV will be part of your minimum spanning tree. So that means you are adding that particular edge to A. A is your answer. And once you have added that edge, it means that now U and V are connected. It means that you should perform a union operation of these two sets. So union of U and V. You repeat this for loop entirely. Finally, what you will get in A is a minimum spanning tree. So it's a very simple approach. But if you want to implement this, then you require some knowledge of how to represent its set, or how we can represent it if you want to implement this. So it requires, and also it's a graph related problem. So you also have to knowledge about how to represent a graph. So array representation, sorry, matrix representation, etc. You have a background of that which you have studied in data structure as well. So that is tricky over here. Otherwise, algorithm is very simple. If we discuss the time complexity, initialization is 1. This is a for loop, and each algorithm of, or each step or each call of max set requires a V operation. So that's why if you are performing a V number of edges, then this particular step requires big of V. Then sorting, if there are n numbers, then the time complexity is n log n. What we are sorting over here is an edges. So we are sorting edges. So that's why time complexity is E log E. Then you have this for loop. For loop is running on E. That means big of E. Every time you are finding set of U and set of V, that doesn't make difference. Find set is 1 actually. So that's why you are repeating it's E times. So that's why it's big of E. Finally, what you get is add these 4 together. So big of 1, big of V, big of E log E, big of E. Obviously, the highest order term is big of E log E. So the time complexity of Kruskal's algorithm is big of E log E. Right? So I hope this algorithm is clear. Next, what we want to discuss is the Prim's algorithm. Once again, before we discuss the algorithm, I think we should discuss the approach which is being followed in this algorithm. So let us take the same example. Now here what you have is so this is my table right now. Prim's algorithm is quietly different approach. It is basically based on the shortest distance algorithm, which was actually being discussed by Dijkstra. So let us Similar to the previous algorithm, it starts with the no vertices are connected. But now instead of maintaining this or sorting this, what it does, it actually creates a table of, or it maintains the distance of each vertex or the shortest distance of each vertex. So let us change this table. So you have a uses Q for as a data structure. So this is the initial setup which is required. So whatever is the number of vertex you represent over here, you are also maintaining a queue. Now this queue is basically a priority queue which contains all the vertex or the distance of all the vertex. But to represent it, we will simply use the name of the vertex. So there are 5 vertex inside a queue. Before you insert this inside a queue, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to, so I am using, I don't know where is that infinity symbol. Let us write infinity. Obviously, in this algorithm, you require one vertex to work as a source vertex. So let us say A is my source vertex. A source vertex means a vertex from which you will start computing or finding your minimum spanning tree. So this was initial setup. Because A is a source vertex, you will change its key value to 0. Right? So now you have this setup inside a queue. Now what you are going to do, you are processing each vertex from this queue one by one. Right? So there are 5 vertex inside a queue. You will process each of them one by one. The vertex with minimum inside the queue. The minimum key for all 4 days is 0. So means this is the vertex which is being found from the queue with minimum key value. Now you will check this age or this age table or age representation. Find out what are the ages which are connected to A. So here it is AB, AC, AD and AE. So there are 4 ages. You see, there are 4 ages: AB, AC, AD and AE. Now what you will do for every age which is connected to A, you will update the value of key of another point or another vertex. So for A, another vertex are B, C, D and E. You will update it, but only if the key of that value is greater than the weight of that particular age. For example, if you take this age AB, the weight is 2 and the key of B is infinity. Because 2 is less than infinity, you will update the weight of B to 2. Right? You will maintain one more table or more data structure which actually tells you the vertex and its parent. initially no vertex are connected, right? So this is another data structure you need to maintain. Initially no vertex are connected, so your parent is set to null, as considered as a null, right? Obviously parent of source vertex is always going to be null because it's a source vertex. Whenever you are updating any key value, you will also update its parent value. So because I have changed the key value, this will be my first iteration, or this will be the output of my first iteration. Because A is extracted from a queue, now my queue has only these 4 value, and this is the setup. Now we have already or only process one edge, remember, right? There are 3 more edges, so you need to process each of this. So every endpoints of A, so there is AC. Find out what is the key value of C, it's infinity. What is the weight of AC is 18. 18 is less than infinity, so you will change this to 18. And parent of C is also A. Again, there is one more edge, AD. What is the current weight is infinity, so it will be changed to 13. Parent of B is A. Again, AE, what is the weight? Infinity, so it will be changed to 3. Parent of E is also A. So after first iteration, what is the scenario? Scenario says that your A is connected to B, your A is also connected to B. Sorry. You see this. This is the scenario. Parent of B is A, parent of C is A, parent of D is A, parent of E is A. This is minimum spanning tree, but it is, sorry, this is spanning tree, but it is not a minimum spanning tree, right? Because your queue is not empty. So the next will be next step. So once again, you will look at this 4 value. Now A is been extracted, so dash. So you will look at this 4 value, 2, 18, 13 and 3. Which one is minimum? It's B. So the next you will extract B. Q will be changed to C, B and E. Right? Again, checkpoints or endpoints of B you have to check. Actually, there are 3. That is AB, BC and BD. But at the time of checking the endpoints, you have to check whether the other endpoint is also in a queue. So if you go for this AB or BA, other endpoint is A and A is not inside a queue. So what it means, you are not supposed to look at this edge. The next is BC. BC. What is the weight of BC? Is 4. What is the key of C? Is 18. 4 is less than 18. So this will be changed. So this is dash, B is also extended, this is dash, and this is 4. And because we have changed the key value, parent of C is B now. What this means? It means that parent of C is being changed from A to B. Right? Next, what is the other edge remains? BD. B D. What is the weight of D? It's 13. What is the weight of BD? Sorry, what is the key of D? It's 13. What is the weight of BD? It's 5. 5 is less than 13. So this will be changed to 5. And parent of D will be B. So that means parent of D is not A, it's now B. Right? So BC, BD we have seen. BA, no need to be checked because A is not part of Q. So that means my value of E remains as it is. It is being not changed. So again, extract mean from Q. So what is the minimum now? 4, 5 and 3. Minimum is 3. So what is the next vertex which is extracted? E. So this is dash, dash, and now this is also dash. And because E is extracted, my Q will contain C and B. Again, check the endpoints of E. If you check the endpoints of E, then there are 3, AE. Other endpoint is A. A is not part of Q, so no need to look at this vertex or this edge. Next is C, CE. Other endpoint is C. C is part of Q, so now you have to check the value of C. Value of C is 4, and weight of C is 9. 9 is not less than 4. So it means that this key value will not be updated. If your key value is greater than the age value, then only key will be updated. So C value will remain as it is 4. Next is DE. DE is 2. What is the current weight of D? Is 5. 2 is less than 5. So that means this has to be updated. 2. And because you updated this key, now my parent of D is E. That means parent of B is not B, it's E. Okay. So this is the setup, or this is the scenario of the third iteration. Again, you have extract mean. So there are two values inside a cube, 4 and 2. So what will be extracted? It's D. And you have dash, dash. B is extracted, so dash, dash. What remains is C. Okay. So D is extracted, D is extracted. So check the endpoints of D, check the endpoints BD, B, CD. So there are how many edges? 1, 2, 3, and 4. But out of all these edges, only C is inside a Q. So now you are only supposed to look at this edge. So that means this edge. So that is CD. CD is 7. What is the weight of C? Is 4. 7 is not less than 4. So this key value will not be updated. It remains 4. No other changes. Next, what you will extract is, obviously there is only one element, C. So the next C will be extracted. So now my Q is empty. C is the last vertex which is being extracted. That means every endpoint is not inside a Q, so that means there will not be any change. So after all this step, what you are getting is this tree via this table. So that means this is 2, this is 3, again this is 2, this is 4. So if you add this 2 plus 3, 5 plus 2 plus 4, 7. So that is 11. Right? So again, it's same as what we have achieved in Kruskal's algorithm, but the algorithm is usually different, right? There is no similarity between two approach. One approach is based on a set, another is approaching using something called a distance with respect to the source vertex. So I hope this is clear. Let's just quickly overview it what we have done actually. We have been given this graph and this set of edges with weight. The first step was to build a queue, but that queue is of a key value. The key value initially for every entity is infinity, except one which is a source vertex. So the key value for that one is zero, right? So 0, infinity, 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 infinity. Now your actual for loop starts. It should not say for loop, but you should use the while kind of a thing. While queue is not empty. What you are doing while queue is not empty, you are extracting minimum from this queue. So you have extracted minimum A. Now for every edge which is connected to A, you are checking its other endpoint. Other endpoint, if it is in a queue, then you are checking its edge weight with respect to the key value. So key value for all these is infinity. So for every edge of A, key value will be updated obviously. And accordingly, parent of that vertex will be updated. Parent indicates the actual representation of a graph. So you will keep on repeat this every time you will extract some vertex from a queue with minimum key value. For every edge of that particular vertex, you will check the other endpoints. If that endpoints is inside a queue, then you check the weight of that edge. If the weight of that edge is less than the current key value of the other endpoint, then you will update the key value. You will also update the parent. But if that is not the case, you will not update anything. You will keep on repeating this till your queue is empty. Hope this is clear. Any doubt? Yes, anyone? Fine, thank you. Thank you for response. So now let's look at the algorithm. Let me say this for future. Okay. So let's look at this algorithm now. What you have is a graph which is connected, directed, sorry, not directed, but undirected graph. That means direction is not involved. It's also weighted. That means weight is associated to every edge. It's the same as the other. As I told you, it is based on the Disaxa's algorithm for finding shortest path. We'll also discuss this algorithm as well. With respect to Kruskal's algorithm may form a forest. Forest means a group of trees which are not connected. But in case of Prim's algorithm, it's always form a tree. So if you observe the first step, in first step there was only one tree. In second step, again there is only one tree. Excuse me. Hello. So if you observe this, it's always form a tree. It's always form a single tree instead of what we are doing in Duskal's approach, where we are actually having something like one tree over here and then other tree over here. So it looks it's a forest. In terminology, it is called forest, where group of trees which are not connected. But in Prim's approach, you always form a single tree. A tree starts from an arbitrary root vertex, which we call a source vertex, and grows until tree spans all the vertices in V. Okay. At each step, light edge connecting a vertex into A will be added. It's a greedy approach because you are actually considering the total amount of tree should be minimum at any point of time, and that we are representing using Q. So this is the approach which we have discussed. You have a graph G, a weight function W, and then source vertex R. First, what we have done, just observe this first three line. For each U belongs to V of G. V means vertex, G means graph. That means for every vertex of graph, you are doing two things. One is setting key value. So key was initially set to infinity, and second was setting parent value. Parent was initially set to nil. It indicates no vertex are initially connected, and key value for every vertex is infinity. Next step you are doing updating the key value of R. R is your source vertex. So like in this case, we have updated the key value of A to 0. So similarly, here you are updating the key value of R. Remember, when you update key over here, it actually gets updated inside the, okay, no, still you don't have a key, sorry, queue. Now what you are doing, you are building a queue with these key values for every vertex. So Q is equal to V of G, where actually value is used is key, right? Next, you have this while loop while Q is not empty. What you are doing, extract minimum. So U is equal to extract mean of Q. Now once you have extracted this mean, you are checking its every vertex, every other vertex which is connected to U. So for each V belongs to adjacency list of U. So this is another graph representation. I told you there is one graph representation using adjacency matrix. This is another graph representation using adjacency list. So here we are maintaining the list of nodes which are connected to every node. So here V belongs to adjacency list of U. That means for every vertex which is connected to U, you are checking two things. First, that another endpoint should be part of Q. It has to be there inside a Q. And second, weight of UV. That means the weight of the edge which connects U with V. If its value is less than the current key value of V, that means the current key value of other vertex. Then what you are doing, you are updating first the parent of V to U. It indicates that now V is connected through U in minimum spanning tree. And second thing, you are updating the key value of V. So key is updated to weight of UV. You will keep on repeating this for every other vertex. You will keep on repeating this for every vertex inside the queue. At the end of this, what you will get is a parent pi, and that will actually be your output. So parent pi will actually tell you that how the vertices are connected with each other, and that indicates the spanning tree, or in our case, it's a minimum spanning tree. So I hope algorithm is clear. Any doubt? Okay. Let's look at the time complexity. Now, to understand the time complexity of this algorithm, you must have a knowledge of how Q is implemented, right? Has heap sort has been discussed? Heap sort by Sushma madam? Anyone? हीप शॉट જેવું કંઈ ચલાવ્યું છે તમને? Say yes or no. Obviously, if it's not yes, then it has to be no. Okay, yes. So it's okay. I'm not going to ask any question on that, but just I want to let you know that heap is used, binary heap sort is used for okay, up to max heapify. Fine. So heap sort or basically heap data structure is used for maintaining this queue because it's a priority queue. Priority queue because you are extracting mean. Mean means it's not first in. What is queue? First in, first out, right? So whatever is being inserted first, it will come out first. So first in, first out is a queue, FIFO. Here it's not that version of queue is being used. Here what is being used is the priority queue. That means you are inserting in any order, but your retrieval is always fixed. What you are retrieving is always the minimum value. Because you are retrieving the minimum value, your queue should be adjusted every time. And that's what you have said that max heapify. Max heapify means that every time you are extending something, you will heapify your queue. Heapify means you will update the queue accordingly. So same approach used over here. So it uses a binary heap for maintaining queue, and these are standards. If you are maintaining a queue using heap, then there are some things which is to be remember. For example, log v, LGV indicates the time complexity of inserting any element inside a queue. So if there are n elements, then if you want to insert something inside the queue, then time complexity is log v. Similarly, if you use this, if you see this initialization of queue and this first for loop. So what you are doing inside this first for loop, you are repeating or you are inserting every vertex inside the queue. Every vertex means v, and each operation takes LGV time. So the time complexity of first for loop is big of v LGV. Then you are updating the key value of some vertex inside the key. Right? So again, you are decreasing the key value of something inside a queue. So when you are decreasing that key, again the time complexity for that is also LGV. So if there are n elements, then the time complexity is LGN. So decreasing key of R, that means this fourth line will take big of VLGV. Then let's look at this while loop. What is there inside a queue? It's a vertex. So that means how many times this while loop is going to be repeated? V times. What you are doing in exit iteration, you are extracting something from queue. So basically extracting something from queue also takes LGN time, so LGV, and that you are repeating V times. So this particular call will take V log V. Again, you are have some for loop inside it. What you are doing? At the max, you are decreasing key of every edge. So because if you observe this is the upper side, upper bound. Every time at the max you are repeating or decreasing in key, how many times? E times. Because once you decrease it, every time that vertex will be extracted from a queue. What I mean to say is that if you see this iteration, we have actually not updated key value for any age twice. If you updated once for AE, then we are not updating for EA, right? Due to this approach, we are actually updating the key value of every vertex at the max how many times? Ages times. So that's what is being discussed over here. E times you are updating the key value using this for loop. So that is E log V. So finally, if you add all this, time complexity is V log V plus log V plus V log V plus E log V. Which one is the highest order term? It's E log V. Why? Because for any given graph, it's always highly probable that number of edges are greater than number of vertex. Because it's a graph, this will be always the case. If it's a spanning tree, then that will not be the case. Here number of vertex 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number of edges 1, 2, 3 and 4. But once it is a graph means something is there, right? So now this is graph. Once it is a graph, it's always highly probable that number of edges are more than number of vertex. So that means E is always higher. When it comes to the graph, E is always higher than V. And that's why highest order term in these two or in these three is E log V. Right? So this is the time complexity of Prim's algorithm. The time complexity of Kruskal's algorithm was E log P. And time complexity of Prim's algorithm is E log V. So tell me which one is better algorithm? Yes, anyone? Right, it's Prim's algorithm because as already I told you that E is greater than V. Here the second is LGV and here the second is LGE and E is greater than V. That means this is the higher order term compared to this. And that means Kruskal's has slightly higher time complexity than Prim's algorithm. So that's all about minimum spanning tree as of now. Still, any doubt in this two approach? Okay, so I think we stop our discussion. Now there are two more algorithms which remain in this topic. We'll be discussing that in the subsequent classes. Thank you all.